guys, and welcome to today's video. Today we are doing a full face of drugstore products. I know, I've never done a full face of drugstore products and I was kind of excited to try it myself. My friend Kennedy asked me if I would do a full face of drugstore products, so this one is for you, Kennedy. I hope you guys like it. So if you want to find out how I got this full face of drugstore makeup, then just keep on watching. All right, we're just gonna jump right in with this full face of drugstore products. Most of these products I have used, I love. I use drugstore products every day. There were only like 2 things that I had to go out and pick up, my eyebrows and my eyeliner, but everything else I have already. So we're gonna start with a primer. We're gonna go in with the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Primer, and I have used this quite often. Probably this is like my 3rd or 4th bottle, so I know how this works and I do recommend it. It's going to give you a luminous, there we go, they shake it up, just a little bit of a sheen coming through. Not too much though, because I don't do a whole lot of dewy stuff because my skin is oily. I keep it pretty matte and I just put the dew where I want it to be. You can see it just gives the skin a little bit of a shine, but a good shine, not in a bad way. Next, we're going to go in with the NYX color corrector. Now you can skip this step if you don't have any places on your face that you need to correct, but I do have some darkness underneath the eyes. So we're going to go in with this salmon shade, other side, salmon shade right there. As you guys can see, I've used it quite a bit. And we're just going to go right here underneath the eyes. And this is going to cancel out any darkness the salmon shade will. And you don't really have to blend it in too much with your finger. I'm going to take my Real Technique sponge, which is also from the drugstore. It cost about $8. And I really love this one. I've already wet it. Just squeeze a little bit of the extra water out. And we're going to go in and just blend that out just a little bit. All right, there we go. Next, we're going to go in with foundation. Now, I have 2 foundations from the drugstore that I love. I'm sorry, this one is so dirty. This is the Maybelline 24-Hour Foundation. I really love this one. This one is matte, and so is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I love this one as well, and I think just because I'm high maintenance like that, I'm gonna mix them. You don't have to, but I like both of them, and I couldn't decide which one to use. So, oh wait, first, I got to do a little bit of concealer on my nose. I do this trick only because my foundation tends to come off of my nose. This is an extra step. You can skip this step. And I also go ahead and prime my eyes. Now I'm using the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer in Ivory. Right here. This is my top favorite drugstore concealer. Don't I look funny? And so you just go in and blend it out again with your sponge. Like I said, this is a totally optional step. If you're a little bit younger, you're in high school, you don't have to do this. This is just for me because I like the extra coverage and my skin's a little bit older. I like to put this on there. This is totally, I like full coverage, but you can skip this step if you're not into the full coverage. So now we're going to go into foundation. So I'm going into the Maybelline 24-Hour first. I'm just putting a little bit on my finger. And I just dot it all around, just like this. Actually, it's funny because, you know, people think drugstore makeup is not the best, but the drugstore has come with it lately in the makeup section. Like, I mean, I would usually pick these foundations over a lot of the high-end foundations that I have. I like the way they look. I like the way they perform. They stay on. Now, not every drugstore product is going to be great and wonderful. I have had some that just aren't up to par with some of the more expensive stuff, but these foundations are amazing. So I'm just going to go back in with my sponge and blend it out. You're just going to tap, tap, tap. Just get it all blended out. A little place right there. And make sure you go over your ears because your ears are part of your face, and down your neck so you don't have that harsh line. All right, so now I've got the foundation in. I'm going to go back in with this Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer, and I'm going to use this to highlight. So I'm going to take this underneath my eyes here in my T-zone and down the center of my face. Just like that. This is a totally optional step. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but this is going to give you that awakened look under your eyes. It's going to make you look like you're not sleepy, like you're more awake for the day. This is going to highlight that T-zone area, and that's what you want. When you highlight, you're bringing things forward. So we want everything to look nice and awake. And here comes my 5-year-old. All right, so now we've got that concealer blended in. Oh, face itches. Oh. We are going to set it with some loose setting powder, and I'm going to go in with the Fit Me loose setting powder from Maybelline, and this is in the color 10 Fair Light. I really do enjoy this powder. I actually use this other than just like a drugstore tutorial. I do use this one a lot. So what I do is I take the Beauty Blender and I dip it down in there and I kind of tap some of the extra off, and I go right underneath the eyes, and it looks like a lot, which is fine. And I'm going to set these under eyes first before they start to crease on you. And I leave that there just to kind of bake just for a second. Now when you do baking, it's just like your skin is just warming up the powder and helping that powder settle into all that foundation that you put on. So it's going to cook it. We're just going to pounce a little bit more powder on the rest of the face. Just not quite as much. You could use a pressed powder for this if you don't want to use loose powder. I just like the finish of the loose powder. And you could also use a brush. You could dip one of these brushes like this in there and use it as well. I just prefer the sponge. And we just go all over the face with the setting powder. Make sure you get in the crevices of those nose and down the neck. All right, so we've got the setting powder on. So our next step is we're going to liven up the face a little bit, because now it just looks like a blank canvas. It's just very one-dimensional. So we are going to go in with some contour, and we're going to go in with some bronzer. So I have this contour by Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Glow Contouring Palette in the color Dolce de Leche. I'm guessing here, people. Looks like this. And I have used this before, and why won't it open? These little suckers. Really? Are you serious? Like, do you have tape on you somewhere that I'm not looking, or what's going on here? Oh, there we go. All right, so that's what the inside of it looks like. I'm gonna take this darker shade right here and do a little bit of contour with that. I'm gonna take my angled brush, and all these brushes are by Morphe. You can get these brushes at Ulta, and they are drugstore price, so they're not expensive brushes at all. So I'm just gonna do a little bit here. And you can totally skip this step if you want to and just go in with some bronzer. But I was just giving you guys an option on some contour from the drugstore. Woo! That looks harsh in the camera. And you always want to blend upwards. Whoa, there's a lot of product coming off. You want to go right there in the hollows of your cheeks, right here from the tip of your ear down to about where your eye starts. You don't want to go all the way down to the corner of your mouth, because that's going to give you a really, really harsh line. I mean, you could if you want to, but my suggestion is to stop there at the eye. I haven't used this in a while. I used to use this all the time. Now, so if you happen to get a little heavy-handed with the contour like I just did, you can go back in with your sponge and you can tap over the contour and just blend it out just a little bit. I learned this at my class in Houston this past weekend. This is called veiling. You are veiling, kind of like, you know, you pull the veil over the bride. I'm assuming like to cover stuff up. You're just kind of wanting to blend those edges out so they're just not so harsh. Thanks to Lipstick Nick that we learned that from. So now, all right, so we're gonna go in with the bronzer. So I got this butter bronzer by Physicians Formula. This is a really, really popular bronzer. I actually gave mine to my mom, so I haven't used it in a while. But it smells like the beach. It smells like coconuts. It's just, oh my gosh. I don't even like the beach, but this makes me want to go to the beach. So I'm gonna go in with a big fluffy brush like this. Circle it around, and let's go in and warm the face up a little bit. So you want to go around on your forehead. Is this even like showing up? It's not very dark on me, is it? I put on some self tanner yesterday, so it might not show up as well as I want it to. But it still smells good. So we're just going along the hairline. They did have some darker colors, but I'm always scared to get the darker color. I did okay, just warming up the face a little bit. All around the forehead, down the neck. You want to look like you've been to the beach, because this stuff sure smells like you've been to the beach. All right, now, somebody must be talking about me because my nose is itching. That's what my dad used to say. Ugh. Okay, so we're gonna go in with blush now. So I've got two good options. This is by Burt's Bees. Can you guys see that? Is it picking it up? And this is in the color Shy Pink. Right here. I do really like this color, but one of my all-time favorite drugstore blushes is by Milani, and it's called Luminoso. This is a baked blush, and it does have a little bit of shimmer to it, so that's why I like it, because I just like shimmer. So we're gonna go in with the little flat, I'm gonna use this one instead, a little bit more fluffy brush. Tip it in. Gonna swirl it around on the cheeks a little bit. I don't know if I've ever used the combination of these products, so Kennedy got me to do this, so it's like I'm experimenting too. Put a little bit of blush on your nose for that sun-kissed look, not too much. There we go. I'm just rosying up the cheeks a little bit. Now I'm going to go back in with that contour palette by Wet n Wild, and I'm going to go just right underneath my eyes and set those just a little bit with this lighter shade. And this is going to make it look a little bit brighter underneath the eyes. Here. And if you get a little bit too much, go back in with your sponge and just kind of blend it out a hair. So next we're going to go into eyebrows. Now this is one of the products I did not have. I don't have a eyebrow pencil from the drugstore, so I picked up the Maybelline Brow Precise Micro Crayon in the color, hello, where are you color? I think it said soft brown on the package, but it doesn't say on here. So it's got a spoolie on the end. Oh, come on out. Spoolie on this end, and then the product on this end that twists up. And so it's kind of like my Anastasia Brow Wiz that I use all the time, but we're just gonna have to see how this performs. So I'm just gonna go in and brush the brows up. I'm gonna pull this mirror a little bit closer. Here, let's see how this works. I always start right here, not at the very beginning of the brow, but almost, and I kind of start tracing my brow out. Right here all the way under the bottom, just like that. And I go all the way to the tip. And then I'll go back in and start making little hair-like strokes like this. And you want your brow to be lighter at the beginning and then get darker, kind of like an ombre effect. And if you get too much product, you can go back with that spoolie on this end and you can blend it out. Let's see how this spoolie's gonna work. I'm gonna have to practice with this pencil. All right, I'm gonna finish up my brows. I'm gonna do this one off camera so this video is not 100 years long, and we'll be right back. All right, so now we got both of the brows filled in. So I'm gonna go in with this L'Oreal brow gel, and I cannot read, I need my glasses. 380 medium dark, maybe. This is what it looks like right here. I'd read the rest of it to you, but it's all rubbed off. I'm just gonna go in and set these brows. The little bit of brow gel, and there we go. Now they are set in place. So now on to the eyes. So I've got two palettes from the drugstore, two eyeshadow palettes. This one is from, or they're both from Milani. So I'm gonna take this little brush out. This is gonna be one of the first ones that we use. This is the Everyday Eyes Must Have Metallics. That's the color of that one. And then we're also going to go into the Milani Bold Obsession palette right here. Because it's got some transition colors, it's got some browns, and we're going to kind of play with both of these. I don't know what look we're going for today, but we'll just see what happens. So I'm going to go into this taupey shade. Let's see, it has them on the back, but I never can figure these out. I think it's called Can't Pink Straight, like Can't Think Straight. It's just the one in the corner, and I'm going to take a Sigma E40 blending brush just like this, and we're just going to cover the whole lid with this color, just to lay down a base and kind of even the eye out. It's like that. I've used these palettes a few times, but not a ton. But if I was going to buy an eyeshadow palette from the drugstore, it would be a Milani palette. I just haven't found any other drugstore eyeshadow palettes. I know Wet n Wild have a couple of good ones, but I just haven't been drawn to any. But I know these these Milani ones are good. So we've got that color down. Now I'm going to go back into this brown right here, and this is called Sweet as Honey. And I'm just going to kind of lay it down as well. I'm just building up the color, so we'll have a little bit more definition in the eyes. And sometimes with drugstore palettes, you have to build more than others because they can be not quite as pigmented, but these Milani palettes are pretty pigmented. All right, so I'm going to go back into a smaller blending brush. Let me find one. It's just a little bit smaller than that E40 brush. And I'm going to go into this darker shade right here on the corner, and this is Brunettes Have Fun right here. Always confuses me when they put the names on the back because I'm like, is it on this side or is it on this side? So I'm just going to define the edge just right here on the outside. We'll see how blendable these shadows are, because I want some definition on the outside of my eye. But this brown shade, see if we can make it work. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that shade. All right, so now I'm going to go in with a little bit of, we're going to go into this Must Have Metallics, and I'm going to go in with this gold shade right here, and just, I'm going to use my finger. So this is what it looks like, you guys can see, and I'm just going to pat it on the inner corner of my lid and the center. Sometimes I find that your fingers work the best other than brushes. Some shadows just work better with your fingers. All right, I think we might have saved the day with that gold. We're gonna go to this side, do the same thing. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with this color here, that middle brown one, the Sweet as Honey shade. And we're going to warm up the lower lash line a little bit. I'm going to take that first brush that I used and just go under. You know, you have to make the makeup face. Why is that? Like, why does everybody make that face? What is it that tells us to go like that? Like, y'all ever think about that? I always think it's important to complete an eye look with the lower lash line. Now, some eye looks, you can leave the lower lash line blank. But I know a lot of people get scared because they think they're going to mess their eye look up. But I actually think having it under the lower lash line and completing the eye look, and you want to circle it around and make sure that it doesn't have a blank spot right here. You want it to connect to the upper lid as well. Now, we're going to go back in with that brown, see how it looks. Let's take a smaller brush. This is a Morphe M506. I'm going to take a smaller brush so we can be a little bit more precise. Down here. This palette would be really great if this brown would blend, but it's just not wanting to blend. It does better on the lower lash line than it does on the top.
Mixing all of my legs. Did you turn it off?
Alright, so we're just still taking that dark brown shade and smoking out the lower lash line all the way around. And now we're going to go in with some eyeliner and some mascara. So the eyeliner we're going to use is this NYX vinyl liquid liner. I'm not really used to using this kind of liner, but we're going to go for it. We're just going to do a simple line right above the top of your lash line. It's just got this little teeny tiny brush. I'm going to hold my breath and let's hope that this works. Somebody's here. Lord, at the interruptions today. All right, so I just did a small black line right above that lash line. It just gives your lashes just a little bit of definition. Now we're gonna go in with mascara. This is my very favorite mascara. It's the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. And we're gonna go in and give the lashes a couple of coats. All right, so we've got about 2 coats of mascara on. Mascara makes such a difference. You could also take a black eyeliner pencil and put some black in your waterline. I think that would like really spruce it up if you want to change it from day to night and darken up these outer corners, and you would be good to go for a night out on the town. So now we're going to finish. We're going to do some lips. I'm going to go in with the NYX Gel Lip Liner in Never Petal Down. It's right here. If you hear somebody, my son has got the hiccups in the background. All right, so I'm just gonna go in and line my lips. Let me sit up a little bit. They're pretty creamy. I do like that. I'm just gonna kind of go in and blend the harsh edges out just a little bit. Dragging the color on my lips. Just like that. And we're gonna go in with some L'Oreal Pony Pink in the color, it's like 580. Looks like this in this little gold tube. Pretty pink color. I love pink lipstick. It's just my thing. There we go, we got our lips on, and we have got to put a little highlighter on. So we're gonna go in with the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter in Molten Gold. Looks like this. I recommend if you see these in the drugstore, get them, because they're always out of stock. There's this one and there's a pinker one at the drugstore. So I'm just gonna take a little highlighting brush and we're just gonna go right there on the cheek. So this is gonna tie in with that gold that we have on our eyes. Here. And there. Oh, oh. Yes. A little bit on the nose. Oh my gosh, this is a lot. We're gonna be glowing up to the stars. I don't mind the glow though. All right, so now we're gonna set it with some setting spray. I have just fallen in love with this Milani Make It Dewy setting spray. I love this. I'm gonna pull my hair back just a little bit and we're gonna go in. Just make sure you keep your mouth closed. It smells pretty good, and the mister on it is pretty good too as well. And we're just gonna try it off. And we'll fix our hair a little bit so it's not so stuck behind our ears. And there you go. There's our finished full face of drugstore products look. Yeah, it's pretty affordable. People think that you can't get a great look from the drugstore, and you absolutely can. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like these kind of videos, please subscribe down below and hit that notification bell so you will be notified whenever I post a video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.